Doom shot, motherfucker. Yeah.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you live from Yap City, bitch. Hope you guys are having a good day. Let's talk about that Monday Night Raw on Netflix. How about that damn show? They put on a hell of a show. It almost felt like a mini WrestleMania. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And just from seeing all of the other podcasts that I watch, like I don't know, this was special. It was a very, very special event. And I think that for many people who maybe stopped watching wrestling for a little bit and watched it when they were younger, this is going to be their opportunity to get back into it, which I think is really special. I know there's a lot of people almost like trying to gatekeep wrestling, and I don't think that that's what, wrestling is about. Wrestling, pro wrestling, it means something different to everybody, but it's a beautiful sport. It's storytelling. It's magnificent, if you will. So let's get into Monday Night Raw. First off, we have Triple H open the show with a sentimental little video package, and I'm not even gonna lie, had me in my feels. I was almost in tears watching that, and I don't know if that's just because I'm corny and I'm passionate, but it had me in my feels. So that introduction, I know that the stadium that they were at, I forget the name of it because I suck. And I've had a long day at work, and I'm also a mom, so bear with me. I hear it is like one of the most high-tech stadiums that they have at the moment, so I don't know if that also helped, but I'm telling you, that opening segment was incredible. So after Triple H opens the show with that video package that was amazing, the crowd is electric, it's on fire, the fireworks go off. I thought that man was going to catch on fire. Kudos to him, because if you've ever been to a live show and you see, like, you're near the fireworks at all, not only are they loud, they'll make you like jump. So I give kudos to all the wrestlers, but especially Triple H, who was standing in the middle of the ring last night, because I thought his head was blown off at first. It's not, clearly. He's good, he's fine, everyone's okay, which, we love to hear, but like that was a little crazy. But after he's done speaking, the entire arena goes black. And then all of a sudden you hear, "Can you smell?" The Rock shows up. Now, I know that this is kind of, not controversial, but in my opinion, it seems like the IWC is kind of split in reactions with how they feel about The Rock. Now, The Rock is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I was a little afraid that last night he was going to interrupt the Tribal Combat match, and he didn't. However, we'll get to that, but the crowd went nuts. The pop was insane. He came out, he gave his flowers to Cody Rhodes. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. What do you mean? He was, thank you for holding the company on your back. Now, I don't hate Cody Rhodes. He's not my favorite wrestler. I don't hate him, though. He has, been holding it down. I wouldn't say he's had the whole company on his back. I feel like that is exaggerating a little bit, if you will, but he's definitely a hard worker. Shout out to him. I know he's also a parent, so I can't imagine being on the road the way he is, but I guess, I don't know, we're putting the past behind us. I don't know if he just was being Dwayne and not in character last night. That's not neither here nor there, but he also shouts out his family. He is a high chief in the Samoan culture. That's a really big deal, so I know that it was important that he was there for the Tribal Combat match last night. So after he does his talking, he gives a shout out to his family, he gives a shout out to Roman Reigns, which we don't really know what's going to happen because he showed up at Bad Blood and all he did was the 1, 2, 3, and we didn't know what that meant, and it happened right after him and Cody teamed up, so we really didn't know what that meant. Was he mad that they were teaming up? We don't know. So anyways, he also was live the entire time backstage, taking shots with Cody Rhodes, cursing it up with Drew McIntyre. I was like, what the hell? But whatever. He was there to have a good time, so he advised that he would be watching on during Tribal Combat. and wished them, you know, all the best of luck. And he exits the stage. And I didn't know what match was going first. I knew that Punk and Seth were main eventing the show, but I did not know what match was going to be opening the show. Out of nowhere, all you hear is and you're lying. I'm looking at you at home. You are lying if you tell me that you gotta shake a little ass to that song, because whoever you wanted to win, that song is a fucking banger. It's a banger. So, you know, all you're taking it all. I'm just gonna be crazy today. So Solo comes out. He looks very determined. I don't know, he didn't look nervous, but I just think that before we get into that match, everybody needs to give Solo his flowers, because Solo really held it down while Roman was out. And so like I said, Solo's the first person to come out. He looks determined. I don't know if he looks nervous. I think he was more or less just taking it all in, as would I. Like I said, he's only been on the main roster. I think he made his debut in 2022 at the end, or 2000. I forgot. I know it was a Clash at the Castle that when he calls Drew McIntyre the title that he clearly can't get over, but you know, that's neither here nor there. That was when he made his main roster debut. I know he was in NXT prior to that, but this is a pretty big deal for him to be opening up the premiere of Raw on Netflix. So I give my flowers to him. He comes out, and then we get our OTC's entrance. And it is the first entrance that Paul Heyman walked out with him. Because if you remember in War Games, Paul did not walk out with him. He came out after everyone came out. But he walked out with Roman, and it made me so happy. I haven't seen them walk out together to the ring at his entrance, not even with that music, but I haven't seen that since WrestleMania. So that was really special to me, just because I love the Wiseman. I love him. So that was special. They get into the ring. The announcer announces Solo, and then Paul does the thing. He does the thing. Give me the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and then announces Roman Reigns. And not me getting goosebumps talking about, you probably can't see, but not me getting goosebumps over here, but it was epic. It was epic. There's no other word to describe it. And that match, Solo and Roman both put on a hell of a match, and especially Solo deserves his flowers, like I said, but that's the first time I've seen Roman bleed in a long time. Roman was bleeding at the end of the match. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, anything crazy, but Roman had a cut on his head at the end of the match. There were tables, there were chairs, there was kendo sticks. It was a brawl. It was a brawl, and we didn't get an interference until the very end, which I was very happy about, because typically in a Bloodline rules match, immediately we're getting people interrupting, and there was a good portion of the match where it was just them going at it. And I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, Solo, I actually thought Solo was gonna win it first. He did his big one. I will give it to him. I think that he really proved to everybody that maybe has been doubting him, he really proved that he is a main roster main eventer. And I think that he proved that he is good enough to be wrestling Roman Reigns on an opening, you know, at Raw, on an opening, on a main event. He's good enough for that. So I think all the discourse with like, oh, Solo's not good. He lost a bunch of matches last year. Cut it. He has proved himself over the last 6 months, I'd say. There's a very bright future in WWE for him. I think that is not the last we see of Solo. I think we're going to see incredible things down the road. So kudos to him. But we get an interference from Tama Tonga. Are we surprised? No. And Jacob Fatu. And then Jimmy and Sammy come out. Are we surprised? No. We knew that someone was going to come out. And then, this is what shocked me the most. KO came out. KO came out there and tried to interfere with the match. And then all you hear is American Nightmare music. And Cody Rhodes came out too. And I said, well, ain't this some shit? Cody Rhodes coming out in the middle of Roman Reigns' match. However, he didn't really get involved. He just kind of started brawling with Kevin, and they took it like into the audience. But after that, Roman pinned Solo, and he remained the one, the only, the original, the tribal chief. So you gotta acknowledge him. You gotta acknowledge him. He is the GOAT. I don't care if you don't like him. Acknowledge him. He is your tribal chief. Moving on. Paul Heyman is getting ready to put the Ulafala on him, and who do you know? Guess who shows up, starts walking out? The Rock. So we're all thinking, watching it as a fan, like, what is he going to do? This was my fear, that he was going to somehow turn on Roman, or that he was behind, you know, what Solo was doing. So I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Like, please don't ruin this moment. So The Rock didn't ruin it. He took the Ulafala from Paul, and then he put it on Roman's neck, and it was really special. And Roman, I don't know if you actually saw this, you might have to go back and watch. He was actually, like, had tears at one point, and I think it was because of his father, which, you know, just hurt my heart for him. But, you know, after he got the Ulafala on him, he had his one in the sky, and he, you know, looked up and I think he said, "I love you." I could be wrong. He mouthed something, though. But it was just a really incredible, special moment. And it was just an amazing moment, not only for their family, but I think the entire Samoan culture. Their entire family put that culture on the map, and I can't imagine how amazing it felt being their family watching from home. Like, they suffered a big loss this year with Sika and Afa, so, you know, big props to that entire family. They did their big one. All of a sudden, after all that ends, you hear, here comes John Cena, comes out and gives a friggin' promo that had me ready to run through the wall. Declares himself for the Royal Rumble, says he's gonna win the Royal Rumble, says if you want some, come get some, you know, the last time is now, and says that it's no longer my time, it's their time, meaning all the new wrestlers, which we're all like, what do you mean, John? What do you mean it's not your time? Like, this is your last run. It's your time too. But, you know, John Cena, he's very humble. He's very, very humble, and you gotta love him for that, because not many wrestlers are that humble. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time, so he doesn't have to even act like he doesn't have to be the way that he is, and I think that it just goes to show he's a class act. He really is, and he, you know, put it out there, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, so we're going to see what happens. I think it would be special to see him win. I know that there are other people, obviously, but, you know, one last time for Cena, maybe. The match we've all been waiting for. Liv Morgan and Rhea Bloody Ripley. Liv Morgan comes out to the ring, looks super cute in her outfit, as per usual. Came out with Raquel and Dom Dom, of course. You could just feel the tension in the air, like, you could feel the excitement. Like, I think that they were both ready for this feud to end and ready to get this match done and over with. But Rhea Ripley came out, there was just this whole, I hate to be horny and use this word, but there was this whole other level of, like, aura. Like, she was like, it is time to do the damn thing. Like, she understood the assignment, is all I'm gonna say, because that entrance just felt special. She, you know, her and Liv put on such a good match too. Let me just say that. They really did put on such a good match. Whether you're a Liv fan, you're a Rhea fan, I'm just gonna spoil it and not finish what I'm saying and just say Mommy got her title back. However, the match in itself was really good. It was really good. Rhea gave her like 2 riptides in a row. She won the title back. She was crying. I was all emotional. Oh my god, she got her title back. And then Dom, how dare you, comes out to the ring after she gets the title and like tries to hug her, and so she kicked him in the nuts. My dude, you did that one to yourself. You did that to yourself. What did you think was going to happen? Not no more. So apparently him and Liv were good when they were walking back. Interested to see what happens there, truthfully, because I was like, all right, Liv, did you not just see that happen? Maybe they'll address it moving forward. I don't know. But as she's making her entrance, all you hear is that toll, dong, Undertaker. Undertaker shows, comes up, drives out his motorcycle. Mommy looked like she was surprised. She was like, wait a minute, I didn't know that was going to happen. Really special moment where they do where they put the arm up together, and I'll show a picture of it after this. And then they do where he looks back at the end, and I just felt like that he was like passing the spooky torch over to her. He was like one of the spooky, gothy, more like wrestlers, and there aren't that many of them currently, so it almost felt like it was like a passing of the torch, and it was just an incredible special moment for Rhea that I don't think she'll ever be able to forget. Oh, and she'll be able to rub it in Damien's face, which is so funny, so, you know. After that ends, we get the entrance of the goddamn night, if you will, Travis Scott and Jey Uso. That moment was incredible. You could tell that Travis was living his best life. He had some broccoli with him, if you catch my drift. At the press conference, Triple H gave a shout out like, thank you, Jey, for just saying no. So we're clearly in the new Netflix era, because let me tell you, that would not have happened on USA Network. They come out together. They have this crazy entrance. He does the whole yeeting thing with him. They play the Fiend song first, though. So Fiend, he's in standing where Jey is going to be coming out at before you see Jey, and they're playing Fiend. And then they start playing Jey's song. You see him, and they're, yeeting together. Yeet. Michael Cole's yeeting. Pat McAfee's yeeting on top of the fucking announce desk. Poor Michael Cole has no rhythm. It's so sad. That man was like offbeat completely. Like the whole crowd's like this. So while everyone's going down, he's like going up. He's like crooked to the side. I was just like, oh, for the love of God.
How you doing, Johnny? That stage? Hi.
But, everyone was eating all over themselves. And just incredible. The crowd was on fire. Jey Uso is the man, and I still am convinced he is the most over star right now. So it's just so much fun watching him have fun with the crowd, and you could tell he really loves what he does, and that's important. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So I just think that's super important. Drew comes out, yada yada yada. I'd like to add, if you're watching this and you're not from the United States, we didn't get to see all those special little promos you had because there were commercials every 5 minutes for us. So we missed out on like a New Day promo, a Miz and Karrion Kross Authors of Pain promo. We missed out on Damian Priest and Rhea. We missed out on Jey Uso dancing with them on top of the desk in that aerial view. So that kind of stinks. I don't know why that we have to have the commercials in other countries don't, but whatever, It was a good match, and Jey got the win because he outsmarted Drew. He pretended that he was like falling over, like tired. Like I guess like either he was tired or I don't know what he was pretending to be, but he kind of just like fell forward. And, Drew thought that he had it in the bag, starts acting a fool in the ring, and then he goes, I don't know what move he was going to hit on him, but Jey trips him and gets the pin real fast. Not going to lie to you, it was like a Dom Mysterio sneak. But sometimes, Dom Mysterio's got that riz. He's sneaky. He pulls it off, and when he gets a win, he keeps it moving. And Jey was like, got the pin and was like, woo, and rolled out the ring. And I would say Drew was not pleased. But, what can you do? Jey was like, I'm out of there. He ain't got time for the drama, so he left after that. And then, unfortunately, we all had to see Hulk Hogan on our TV. So I have nothing to say about that. I hope that everybody learned a lesson that we shouldn't have problematic people on TV anymore. He got booed out, and rightfully so. Hang it up, brother. Hang it up. Oh well. Moving on. Moving on to the match of the night. The match of the night. CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Let me tell you, I hope that this match was just the beginning of a long series of matches that we are going to get from them, because I have one thing to say. The promos that they have cut on each other, the backstage interviews, their beef, there is some real tension there. I understand that it is a job, it is scripted, they come to work to do it, but there is clearly a real dislike for each other there, which makes the entire story so much better. And I think that when they had that triple threat match with Drew, I feel like the reason that people didn't love it is because you could actually like feel the tension between Seth and Punk. Not that Punk and Drew didn't hate each other, but like you could tell that this is like an actual problem that they have with each other. I'm not saying they hate each other, but there's definitely been words said about, I've heard Seth Rollins not say nice things about him before he even left the other company. So take with that what you will. When they cut that promo on the Monday before, they both, their body language visibly showed that they were like genuinely pissed off. I believe it was Punk. You might have to correct me. One of their lips was twitching and the other one was like kind of like like their body language, like you could tell. I'm going to sound so dumb, but it's real. It's real. And that's what we love at wrestling, when you can't, and I think that's why I love the Bloodline story so much, is I love when you cannot tell what's real and what's storyline. I think that is what makes wrestling so magical. And I think that that is what makes the CM Punk and Seth issue going on so magical, because they had the ability to get in the ring and tell a story with just the match alone. They didn't even need to have any words. They told a story with that match. And let me tell you, Seth pulled a CM Punk on CM Punk and gave him a go to sleep. And that is the first time in his entire career that somebody has given him a go to sleep back. And it's funny because at the press conference, he said, man, I might have to change my finishing move because I've been giving everybody go to sleeps and I never had one given to me till today. And let me tell you, he was like, it didn't feel good. So Punk got the win with his finisher, the go to sleep. And CM Punk stated, he gave a hell of an interview with Jackie Redmond. 46 is just a number and so is number 1, and that's what I am. So all of my, everybody needs to come correct, and they do. I think all the Punk haters that have been doing nothing but talking smack on this man need to give him his flowers, because not only is he doing phenomenal at this company, he's been putting on banger match after banger match. This is definitely not the end. Clearly, it's not the end of Punk and Rollins. And I just think that he's been able to prove himself that he's not this toxic human that everybody keeps making him out to be. I think he just points things out that are wrong. And I don't think that's a big characteristic to have, because if you don't ever address a problem, how will you ever change things? You can't just pretend things aren't going on. Anywho, he also stated in his press conference while eating donuts that he has the ability to bring the best out in people by pushing their buttons, and he does. And I think that's, whether anybody wants to admit this or not, that feud with Punk and Drew, it definitely elevated Drew's, no, I wouldn't say that's the only thing that elevated his career, but that definitely just elevated him as a performer. People look at him differently, especially after that Hell in the Cell match. And not that people don't already call Seth one of the greatest wrestlers of today, but I really think that if they continue this feud, they are just going to keep bringing the best out in each other. And I don't think the crowd can get enough of it. And truthfully, I think we're about to get the heel turn. That is a big word for Elmo. I think we are about to get the heel turn of the century from Seth Rollins. And I cannot wait for it, because my favorite version of Seth Rollins is when he's a heel. And if he stays a heel, after all this Punk and Seth stuff ends, we may finally get him and Roman. Because as of right now, Roman, I wouldn't say you're a baby face, but I would consider him a tweener. We may finally get that after. Who knows? Who knows? But I cannot wait to see where this feud goes. I'm interested to see what's next for the Bloodline. What is next for Solo? What happens with this story? I have no idea what's going to happen next. Does the Bloodline 2.0, do they start turning on Solo? Does Solo join Roman's bloodline again? Do they combine as one bloodline? Do they just break off and do their own thing? I don't know. I'm so happy the feud with Rhea and Liv is over, though. I have no idea what's going to happen you know, who her next opponent will be, but I'm excited to see that as well. And then we also have Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time. I don't know who her first opponent's going to be. I assume it might be Nia, to be honest with you, for a rematch, but I think Charlotte Flair's coming back, and I think she's going to want that title. Also, let me just say, did anybody else freak out when they saw Nikki Bella? Because I was ready to run through my TV screen. I was like, shut up. I cannot believe she's here. I love the Bella twins. Love, love, love them. I just think it's fucking incredible that she, you know, took back the Nikki Bella name and essentially came back home. I want to say, I feel like if she didn't already, she's supposed to be signing like a Legends contract. I don't think to like wrestle or anything, but I think just to be like more affiliated with the WWE. So like that will be really, 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 really exciting to see. You know, maybe she can get AJ Lee to join her, because my mother, I love her. I love her so much. But and overall, every match that they put on turned out the way I wanted it to, other than having to see Hulk Hogan on my screen. I would say it was 10 out of 10 show. It was incredible. I cannot wait to see what happens in the future. Like I said, we don't know what's next for the Bloodline. We don't really know what's going to happen with the Drew story. We know that he is looking for revenge. Clearly, he's on a mission. We don't know who Rhea's going to verse next. I've been hearing talk about the Judgment Day and the Wyatt Six, so I guess we'll see with that. And then, obviously, this Seth and Punk feud, clearly not over, and I'm pretty sure they're both going to be in the Rumble, so that should also be interesting as well. So, until next time, it's been real, it's been fun. It hasn't been real fun. I'm just kidding. But if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and follow. Make sure that you follow our podcast, the FemSlam Pod, Breaking Down the Ring. We are working on season 2. It will be out in a couple of weeks, and we cannot wait for you guys to see it. That is all for me. But peace out. Adios. Bye-bye.